My name is Jason. I used to believe I was going to save the planet. You know the type? Public school eco club president. Wore a hoodie made from recycled bottles for 2 years. Yelled at strangers who didn't separate their trash. That was me. I collected rainwater in a second-hand fish tank just to water my tiny balcony garden. I believed every small action mattered. I still do, in a way. I studied environmental science. 4 years of soil reports, carbon calculations, and professors who wore trail shoes to class. I planned to work for a nonprofit. Live out of a van if I had to. Protest pipelines. Get arrested for the right reasons. Instead, I spent most of last year organizing spreadsheets for a recycling company that barely recycled. They mostly sorted trash so someone else could throw it away more efficiently. I quit after 8 months, telling myself it was temporary. Graduation passed in a blur. Everyone talked about internships, fellowships, next steps. I smiled for photos and pretended I had a plan. I didn't expect my family to show up. Most lived too far away or were too old to travel. But just after my name was called, I saw her in the crowd. My grandmother, Miss Hazel. Purple church hat. Sunglasses. A smile like she'd been there the whole time. Afterward, we sat under a tree while people packed up around us. She handed me an envelope with $200 and said I'd done well enough for now. Then she said, "Come learn the family business." I assumed she meant real estate or insurance. Some respectable city job my cousins like to name drop. I never really asked what Grandma did for work. Not properly. I remembered a corner shop from when I was small. Sticky floors. Too many competing smells. Bread, bleach, beans, old sugar. I remembered being scolded for knocking over a jar I definitely wasn't meant to touch. There was always a line. People waiting for canned goods, produce, bags of rice. Some looked tired. Some didn't quite look human. That was Grandma's shop in Harlem. She called it Marva's Market and Goods, like it was just another bodega. It wasn't. Turns out she sells groceries to monsters. No one hid that from me. No one explained it either. Grandma never liked explanations. She believed if you were old enough to ask, you were old enough to see. During the day, the shop runs like any other. Collard greens out front. Coffee by the gallon. Lottery tickets by the register. But after sunset, something changes. A hidden door opens in the back, behind an old bookshelf, and the shop becomes something else entirely. That's the real business. Roots in jars. Bones wrapped in paper. Candles with handwritten labels. Herbs you don't find in bodegas unless you know how to ask. A back room that smells like smoke, salt, and cinnamon. Shelves that feel older than the building itself. Grandma is a witch. A real one. Not costumes. Not online storefront magic. She learned from her mother, who learned from hers. Southern root work passed down through hands and stories by the stove. People come to her when problems can't be solved any other way. I grew up around it. Sweeping floors, wrapping bundles, writing labels, but never learned what any of it meant. Grandma kept me just outside the circle. Safe. Now I'm grown, and she says it's time. The shop will be mine one day. I need to know what I'm inheriting. So here I am, 6 months in, learning the ropes, watching my grandmother mix oils and light candles like it's nothing, helping werewolves pick shampoo, ringing up ghosts who pay in old coins that melt if you stare too long. It's a lot, but I'm learning. Still, I'm getting ahead of myself. You should know about the shop's familiar first. Salem. He's a gray cat with a bad attitude and a long memory. The rumor is he used to be a wizard, powerful, arrogant, careless. He upset the wrong enchantress and was turned into a cat for 1,000 years. When I asked Grandma how long he had left, she said, "He's not halfway through. Salem doesn't talk much, but he makes his opinions known. He knocks over jars when he's ignored, disappears when needed most, sits on the highest shelf just out of reach." Grandma named him Salem as a joke. He didn't appreciate it. The shop is called Hazel's Market and Goods, on the corner of 137th and Malcolm X, between a barber shop and a storefront church. By day, it's just another Harlem bodega. By night, it's something else. After 8 p.m., the front closes. The back opens. Pull the right book, Frankenstein, and the wall opens into a hallway leading to the night shop. Stone floors, low ceiling, air heavy with cinnamon, smoke, and copper. Every jar labeled. Every candle handmade. Roots wrapped in cloth. bones tied with string, oils that shimmer unnaturally, red flannel bags sewn with black thread. The shop serves Harlem's supernatural community, the ones between the cracks, werewolves with tired eyes, southern witches, river spirits who leave mud on the floor but still haggle, boo-hags looking for gluten-free bread, sirens passing through asking for salt and tobacco. You get used to it. Most days I stock shelves, label jars, clean counters. When Grandma feels well, she lets me help brew things that smell like trouble. And through it all, Salem watches. I've been here almost 6 months. I have stories that'll keep you up all night. So pull up a chair. Pour yourself some of Grandma's carrot tea, if you can handle it. We've got time. Let me tell you how it started. Grandma picked me up from the train station herself. She said taxis were a waste of money and handed me a sack of yams to hold. That was my first job, yam security. The shop looked the same as I remembered. Inside smelled like wax and black pepper. She showed me around. Register up front. Broom in back. Never move the jar by the window. It's got a job, she said. She introduced me to a shelf named Helen. I complimented it. It restocked itself. Then she showed me the hidden door. This is where the real work happens, she said. That night, I met werewolves, vampires, witches, and Salem, who greeted me with a warning swipe. By closing time, I realized I hadn't checked my phone once. I went to bed thinking maybe I'd found something better. Even if the cat hated me. Weeks later, Grandma explained root work. Real root work. Magic born from survival. Salt for protection. Dust and bones to heal. Work for the people. She told me why she never taught me. My father asked her not to. Said he wanted me raised clean. Now I was here by my own choice. She gave me a protection hand. Said I'd know when I needed it. For the first time, I didn't feel lost. Grandma left town. A man named Luther came in, looking haunted. His apartment smelled like blood on Wednesdays. Lights broke. Dirt appeared under his nails. Grandma wasn't there. So I went. Salem came too. We found a hidden bundle behind the refrigerator. Old magic. A curse meant to bury a man slowly. I broke it the best I could. Grandma said if I hadn't, Luther would have buried himself alive within weeks. After that, things settled. I stayed. Not all at once. Just slowly. The work mattered. People needed it. Grandma trusted me more. Gave me responsibility. I don't call myself a root worker. Neither does she. Titles don't matter. Responsibility does. So that's what I can share for now. Harlem always has more stories. And if you ever need bread, beans, coffee, or help with something you can't say out loud, you know where to find us. Until then, be careful out there. Some nights, when the shop finally goes quiet and the last candle burns low, I catch myself standing in the doorway between the front and the back. Between soap and cereal on one side, bones and roots on the other. Two worlds sharing the same floor. I used to think change only came from protests and policy and shouting loud enough to be heard. But Harlem taught me something different. Sometimes change looks like keeping a door open. Like listening when someone's afraid. Like stopping a curse before it finishes what it started. I still believe small things matter. I just didn't know they could matter like this. Grandma says every shop chooses its keeper as much as the keeper chooses the shop. I don't know if that's true yet. But when I lock up at night, when Salem settles in like he's counting centuries instead of hours, it feels less like I'm filling in, and more like I've arrived. There are more cases, more lessons, more mistakes waiting for me to make them. And sooner or later, Grandma says, the shop will ask something of me I won't be able to refuse. When that day comes, I hope I'm ready. Until then, the lights stay on. The shelves stay stocked. And Hazel's Market and Good stays exactly where it's always been. Right on the corner, waiting for whoever needs it next. Some mornings, I unlock the shop before the sun fully rises. Harlem is quieter then. The street feels like it's holding its breath. I sweep the front floor, flip the sign to open, and pretend for a few minutes that it's just another corner store. It never is. The jars in the back shift when they think no one's looking. The shelves hum low like they remember older songs. Salem watches the door, not the street. Like he's waiting for something to come through that hasn't decided on a shape yet. Grandma says that's normal. Means the balance is working. She tells me like balance is something you can measure. I don't ask what happens when it stops working. Every lesson she gives me comes with a warning she doesn't say out loud. Every blessing costs something, even if the price isn't due yet. I'm learning to listen for the quiet parts. The pauses, the looks, the way Salem's ears tilt when something's wrong. I don't feel like a hero here. I feel like a caretaker, someone making sure the cracks don't widen. And maybe that's enough, because this place doesn't need saving. It needs tending. So if you pass through Harlem late at night and see a bodega that looks a little too awake for the hour, don't worry. We're open for a reason. Just make sure you know what you're asking for before you step inside. Sometimes, just before closing, Grandma looks at me a little longer than usual, like she's measuring something she won't name yet. Then she nods, satisfied or maybe resigned, and tells me to lock up. Salem always waits until the lights are off to move. He follows me down the hallway, paws silent on the stone, tail flicking like he's counting debts. When we reach the front door, he pauses, staring at his reflection in the glass. For a moment, he looks almost human. I don't comment on it. Some things aren't meant to be said out loud. Outside, Harlem keeps breathing. Sirens in the distance. Music drifting from an open window. Life layered over older things that refuse to disappear. Tomorrow, someone new will walk through that door. They always do. And they'll carry a problem they don't have words for yet. When they do, I'll be here. Because this shop doesn't just sell what people want. It gives them what they need, whether they're ready for it or not. There are nights when I dream of soil under my fingernails and wake up calm instead of afraid. I take that as a sign Grandma hasn't told me about yet. The protection hand stays in my pocket. I don't check it as often now. It hasn't left me, and I haven't left it. Salem sleeps closer these days. Not friendly, just near enough to notice if something goes wrong. That's how I know this place has started to recognize me. Not as a visitor, not as help, but as someone who belongs to the work. Tomorrow the bell will ring again. Someone will step inside, hesitant, hopeful, desperate. And I'll be ready, because once Hazel's Market decides you're part of it, it doesn't let you go. Grandma says the city listens. Not to words, footsteps, heartbeats, intent. Harlem remembers who walks its streets with respect and who doesn't. I've stopped trying to leave early. The shop knows when I rush. The door sticks. The bell rings too loud. Salem judges me for it. So I slow down. I wipe the counter twice. I straighten the jars. I thank the shelf before it restocks itself. Little habits. Old habits. The kind that don't look like magic until you miss them. I don't know what I'll become here. Only that I'm no longer pretending to be somewhere else. And for now, that's enough. Somewhere between locking the door and turning the key, I realize I don't flinch anymore. Not at the shadows. Not at the whispers that don't quite sound like words. They know my name now. The shop settles when I'm here. The shelves stop shifting. The air evens out. Like it's decided, at least for tonight, that nothing needs to be tested. Salem stretches, yawns, and gives me a look that says don't get comfortable. I wouldn't dream of it, because comfort doesn't last in places like this. Belonging does. And tomorrow, the bell will ring again. I turn off the lights one by one. The last bulb flickers before it goes dark, like it's thinking better of it. Behind me, something exhales. Not a threat, more like approval. I lock the door. The shop locks back. That's how I know I did it right tonight. Salem brushes past my leg as I step away, tail flicking once, deliberate. A reminder. Tomorrow will ask for something. It always does. But tonight, the shop is quiet, and that means we're even.